Wednesday night ESPN college basketball in the Big 12. It's the 238th installment of Bedlam as the Oklahoma State Cowboys host the Oklahoma Sooners. Terrific to have. And they're going to take on their big rival tonight. Ball in the air. We are underway. It's Oklahoma in the Crimson Red that has the first possession.
Freshman Jamal Bieniemy in the starting lineup. First play.
James has that blocked by Cam McGriff.
Yeah, two freshmen for the Cowboys. And the guy with the ball has had a good year. Likely two freshmen matching up, in fact.
Likely one of the freshman starters facing up another one of the freshmen off for an A. Bieniemy getting a start for the second straight game for the Sooners. He made his starting debut against Texas on Saturday. Quick pass. Richard Odoms has that blocked by Ane.
I saw Ane get 6 blocks against Memphis and Orlando in November, and this kid's got a lot of potential, especially on that end of the floor.
They feed the pass to Waters, gives it up, and Ane lays it in and is fouled.
Great energy to start. Watch Lindy Waters now. He's going to cut to the basket, post up, brings the help. And then the freshman from Kansas City, he's excited, and he should be.
Well, Ane finishes the three-point play, but kudos to Waters for corralling what was a really low, tough entry pass.
Yes.
So it's the Cowboys with the game's first points. Quick pass, Odoms. Richard Odoms has kind of found a resurgence here the last couple of games and back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, 17-1 and 11 the last. And he's another one of those guys like James that has Final Four experience.
Waters, tough shot, defended by Manick. But Lindy Waters basically can shoot anytime he wants on this team.
That's right, and that's what Mike Boynton told us today. They need him to get shots up, and that means sometimes maybe forcing some, but that's okay given the shorthanded nature of the roster.
Manick swishes that three. Well, if they can get Brady Manick's shot to fall, we might have a high-scoring game tonight. The back cut, the bounce pass, and a foul. You're going to get Doolittle on that. Or was that just kicked? Tipped out of bounds. Well, the North High School product, Lindsey Waters.
Yeah, he's been on fire lately. And then how about Brady Manick? These guys grew up not far from each other, probably about 20-30 minutes. Of course, you mentioned Lindy from Norman and Brady from the outskirts, suburbs of Oklahoma City.
Waters from about the same spot. Got it and one.
Well, first of all, I absolutely love the energy of Oklahoma State. And there's a great little down screen. Squares himself. He gets behind the ball before he catches it, knocks it down. And this is a guy that not only shoots the ball from deep well, look at the free throws. He's on a 15-game streak, a 15 free throw streak right now.
Definitely foot was on the line. So it was a 2-point shot. As you mentioned, leading the nation in free throw shooting, trying to become the second Cowboy in 3 years, as Phil Forte led the nation in free throw shooting a couple of years ago for the Cowboys.
Well, I like the energy of both teams. And when you're Oklahoma playing against this defense, you're going to have to back cut some. That's the fourth back cut.
Bounces off the back rim. Desagua feeds Likely.
And they've taken advantage of Oklahoma State's pressure and denial. And in theory, it's been good, not in practice necessarily so far.
Waters again. That's a three, and Lindy Waters the third. Off to a smoking hot start tonight. Eight early points for Waters. James trying to answer from the corner, but it's short. Rebounded off the floor by McGriff. We got two teams tonight, Fran, that are playing like a couple of teams that have lost 2 in a row in the Big 12.
Absolutely.
With a sense of urgency.
Yep, no question about it.
Likely trying to cross over. Good defense by Christian Doolittle. McGriff tried to get in the lane, but that was closed up. And Likely hits the three, and the three ball falling for the Cowboys. A 9-0 run for Oklahoma State.
That's only his 4th three of the season.
And 13 three-point attempts. Deep three, short for Manick. Here's DeZagua, quickly into the corner for McGriff. Waters doubled in the corner, skips it. DeZagua open, Likely a three. That one a little bit long, tip, kept alive by McGriff. Out of bounds. Who are they going to say it's off? Manick. Oklahoma State ball.
By Ane and by McGriff. And they can't give up Oklahoma on attacking that basket, but they've got to do a good job here on this end because Cowboys sizzling so far.
5 assists on their 5 field goals. Waters. A 12-0 run for Oklahoma State in the last 2.5 minutes.
This is exactly what Mike Boynton told us today. He told Lindy Waters, if you don't get shots up with this team, you're actually hurting us by being unselfish. And he's taken that talk to heart.
Yeah, Coach Boynton even said, hey, Lindy, if you're only 2 of 6 in a game, that's not enough.
That's right.
You got to shoot more.
I'd rather you be 9 of 23 and get us points.
And they picked up his first foul for the Cowboys. And he goes to his zone.
Yeah, 2-3 zone.
How much of this is the personnel depletion? Just trying to save
legs, change up.
Bieniemy from 14 feet hits the floater.
He's a good young player. We've seen it through the years. When Juan Kruger puts you into the starting lineup as a freshman, that really tells you all you need to know.
McNeese chasing Waters. A DeZagua three. I'm not sure that should have been a chance for a 4-point play. He got whacked pretty good after the shot.
It looked like it. It looked like it, but he stayed with it. And DeZagua not quite the same. He actually told Jerry Pollard on this end of the floor, I think I got fouled, Mr. Official. But great concentration.
Oklahoma State has hit 4 of their 5 3-point attempts to begin the game and lead by 13.
Sooners have got to keep their poise and hope this shooting doesn't continue.
In and out for Doolittle.
And they have to keep attacking the basket, not settle for contested jump shots.
They've been a little reluctant to go to the rim since those 2 early blocks.
Seems that way.
Waters got Bieniemy right in his grill. Cutting to the basket. McGriff! Oh, what an athletic play to get that one to go through the hole. A 17-2 run. Timeout OU. On this team. So they're going to have to carry these Cowboys the rest of the way. Another changing defense. A little 1-3-1. That was kicked by McGriff. We were talking about the defenses in the zone with Mike Boynton. He said, you know, we haven't brought out the box in 1 yet, the triangle in 2, but we may at some point if we have to.
Listen, this guy had no head coaching experience a year ago and did a phenomenal job. 4 wins over the top 10. And they're facing a little crisis right now.
A travel by Doolittle before the 3-point shot.
You know, coaching, I always tell young coaches, when nothing's wrong, it's still chaos management. But when you have an adversity hit you like the suspensions, it becomes crisis management. And that's how you're judged as a coach, how you handle chaos and crisis. And this guy is built for it. He's very poised for his age and his experience as a head coach.
Open look, McGriff. The enemy rebound. Just the second three-point miss in 6 tries for the Cowboys. That's a 3 off the right side from James. And it's the guard Likely pulling down the rebound.
They got to start attacking the basket again. I just don't think the way this Oklahoma team shoots it in the Big 12, 29%, they can live with that.
From a tough angle, Ane on that pass over the top kind of got stuck on the baseline and throws it away.
You know, the Big 12 had so much success in a non-conference, and 5 or 6 of those teams have been ranked in the defensive numbers, the efficiency charts. Now that we're watching Big 12 basketball, Oklahoma's an outstanding defensive team, as is Iowa State, Kansas, Texas Tech, Kansas State. In this league right now, with the amount of good defenses, Mark, you have to figure out ways to score. You can't, it's not the non-conference. You're not playing Northwestern. You're playing teams that know you well.
Every team has to deal with that, but perhaps Texas Tech is the team most amplified right now that was really rolling and now struggling to score. They've lost a couple in a row.
You know, they've lost a couple in a row, but you got to have amnesia. Because just as easily they can go and win 5 in a row. It's that kind of league.
Duncan DeMuth in the game, picked up the foul. Puts Jimani McNeese at the line, who has scuffled from the line this year. Just 35%, but he sinks the first. With the Big 12 standings, after the K-State win last night, they're tied with KU. How about Baylor, though?
Amazing. Great start. I'm a huge fan of Tristan Clark, the young man who got hurt in the Iowa State game. I think he's going to have surgery this week or next, so we wish him well. But Scott Drew has rallied the troops. They've become perimeter-oriented. And Makai Mason, the Yale transfer, has been outstanding.
3, McGriff. Well, the outside shot's falling right now for Oklahoma State to open up a 25-9 lead. Skipped into the corner. Calixte once again settling for that outside shot.
Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but you got to think that the early shot blocking at the rim has maybe played into the minds of the Sooners.
With the 6'10" and eyes on the bench, you think this is your time to go inside if you're
absolutely
the Sooners offense. 5 to shoot. Waters clears a little space. Wow!
There's a guy that plays in Oklahoma City that's got that rocker step down pretty good. He's in New York tonight, lighting it up. But how about this guy?
Westbrook-esque. Under 11 minutes, and it's been a 23-4 run. Manick, a 3 from the corner. McNeese tips it to James. 3 left corner. Good. Bieniemy.
That kid's got poise. He took the final shot at Texas after knocking down 3 threes down the stretch to get him back, and he does not fear the moment.
He did that with no hesitation in Austin.
I still want them to go inside. If it were me, we'd be playing from the rim out.
Curtis Jones steps up and bounces out. Rebound skips to Bieniemy.
There's a lot of time left, Mark. Oklahoma, they have to just go possession by possession.
Calixte, not sure if he was trying to lob it to McNeese or to shoot it, but Manick gets the shot to fall and the foul.
Not just the made shots, but the aggressiveness.
Manick completes the 3-point play out of the timeout.
By the way, as you remember, Mark, Oklahoma State won that game last year in overtime.
83-81 in OT. As you mentioned, 48 for Trae Young, most points ever for a score in the Bedlam series, breaking Jawan Evans' 42 points that he scored in Norman a few years prior to that.
I mentioned earlier a lot of time in this game. What I mean by that is you just don't expect Oklahoma State to keep scoring or shooting at this level. So you have to tighten up your defense if you're the Sooners and play possession by possession.
Oklahoma State had hit 10 of their first 14 shots prior to that last miss. There's a Manic three from the left corner.
They've got Christian Doolittle in there now against DeMuth.
DeMuth crashed into Doolittle, and then Manic thought he had a block, and he's called for the foul. Well, number 9, Kansas will battle number 8, Kentucky at Rupp Arena in the 6th annual SEC Big 12 Challenge. That's also a Sonic blockbuster, Saturday, 6 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. The SEC Big 12 Challenge presented by Continental. Just buckle in for all that action on Saturday. It starts at noon Eastern.
You'll be in Oxford.
I'll be Iowa State and Ole Miss with Chris Patola. You'll be down at Texas A&M.
Kansas State's down there to play the Aggies, and that Kansas-Kentucky game, an outstanding game. Two great programs, great Hall of Fame coaches. Jayhawks, I was going to say Jayhawks have had the better of it last couple of years, but this is a really good Kentucky team playing well right now.
Way off the right side with that from DeMuth. There's some of the challenge games that you'll see on Saturday. A block by McGriff. That shot barely made it out of the hand. Hand off to McGriff. Shoots over Doolittle. It bounces out. Offensive rebound, DeMuth.
New clock. Good job by McGriff pulling it out.
Likely gets right by James, but Doolittle was there to protect the rim.
Excellent defense by Doolittle. Put his hand straight to the ceiling.
Kalixti three from the corner.
I don't know about you, but I think they're shooting too many threes.
Yes.
But hey, Mike Moyne's not arguing. This team shoots the Sooners 29% behind the arc in Big 12 play, so he's liking that.
Curtis Jones, the transfer from Indiana. Likely. McGriff. That bounces in and out, but DeMuth goes over the back of Doolittle for the foul. Timeout here in Stillwater.
I drove
from Manhattan today.
I did, but there you see. This is a snapshot right now. This league is so tough. It changes from game to game, week to week. Who you playing next, home or away? And right now, you got to love what, obviously, Kansas. No surprise there. K-State back on a groove. Defense has been outstanding.
The enemy after the steal. A little floater up and good for Doolittle.
Christian Doolittle is so important because he's starting to get the mojo back from his freshman year. And Lon Kruger has relied on him. He's made some big shots in this season. And he's almost as important to this offense as Christian James is.
Well, an 8-0 run for Oklahoma. He's now pulled them within 11. Oklahoma State has cooled off. They've missed their last 6 from the field after hitting 10 of their first 13 on the short clock. Deep three, not there that time for Waters.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier, you watch basketball, you know it's a long game, and it's going to be hard for the Cowboys to continue to shoot the way they did.
Odoms. Doolittle in the lane, spinning and scoring.
Nice dish and good job by Doolittle. Little PhD right there off the glass. Proper hand development with the spin.
So make it a 10-0 run for Oklahoma. They now have whittled the deficit down to single digits.
And it's a little quieter in here, isn't it?
Definitely so. That was quite an early buzz, though.
Yes, it was.
7 to shoot. Isaac Likely, the freshman, jab steps and then travel.
Yeah, take a look right here. Christian Doolittle, he's got the little floater. He'll make that foul line shot. But he's really good going to the basket.
Yeah, at that time, they had it split up into the small school player of the year and big school player of the year, and he was the big school player of the year.
I'm joking. Bill Self was an outstanding Oklahoma State Cowboy. Went to the NCAA tournament in 1983, playing for Paul Hansen.
Doolittle from 16, and then skying for the rebound, Curtis Jones.
But you see how Lon Kruger put the ball in his hands out of the timeout.
McGriff.
Wow, he can do that. What I like about it is he didn't even hesitate. He's had some really big games in his career. He's been a Jayhawk killer on occasion.
He's got 8 points tonight. Doolittle from the foul line is fouled.
Cameron Griff, only a junior out of Grand Prairie in the mid-cities in Dallas. So take a look at that. Knocks down a 3-ball. That's not his strength, but he's capable of making it, much like Christian James.
He's got a double-double in 4 of his last 7 games, McGriff. And Nate, by the way, picked up his second foul, so he has come out. So that 6'10" rim protector for Oklahoma State. A few foul issues here with 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Oklahoma State with the ball in the 11-point lead.
Oklahoma does a lot of switching in man-to-man. Sometimes you switch yourself into a mismatch. Right now, Manic guarding Gonzaga. Wow.
That long 3 from Jones. And that foul is going against Oklahoma. And I believe Bieniemy.
Officials are not calling the over the back as much this year because they're penalizing the defender for not only blocking out, which is a good play, but when you walk under an offensive player trying to get to the glass, they're going to call that a foul.
So Bieniemy is checked out. Gonzaga able to inbounds just in time. Waters.
There's that switch in the mismatch. This is what we're talking about.
And then McGriff.
And there's a perfect example of switching into a bad matchup.
Well, our Women's Thursday Night Showcase has #1 Notre Dame in Knoxville to take on the Lady Vols. 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app, so you can watch it anywhere. And remember last year, the Irish staged that great comeback, their biggest in school history, from 23 points down to beat Tennessee in South Bend.
And how about the Vols tonight? The men, Rick Barnes' team, survived Vanderbilt in overtime in Nashville by 5. They'll play West Virginia on Saturday.
McGriff.
How about that?
11 first half points for Cam McGriff.
Well, maybe they can keep shooting like this, and if they do, it's lights out for the Sooners.
Manic, that's a 2. And Curtis Jones flies in to grab that rebound.
Just terrific energy tonight by the Cowboys in the first 16 minutes.
Jones gets it back from DeMuth. The 3 to Zagwa. High off the back rim, tipped out by McNeese on the run. Reynolds. Odoms in a crowd underneath. Manic, 1 dribble and a stuff.
Nice job by Rashad Odoms. He got himself into traffic and was really under control. Manic snuck behind the defense. Really well done. They got that ball out in transition quickly.
See the numbers for Manic. He's had pretty good numbers against Oklahoma State, averaging 15 a game, 4 times coming into this one. Odoms. Count it. And the foul.
That's perfect 2-on-1 basketball. Great pass by Rips. Doesn't hold on to it. Gets it out ahead. Bounce pass. Finished by Odoms. At a boat right now. I'd say he's the player of the year in the Big 12, and that doesn't take anything away from Jarrett Culver, Mario Shayok. I think those 3 guys are going to be in the mix. A lot of it will depend to me on who wins the league, but Dedrick Lawson has essentially been unguardable in Big 12 play.
Odoms steals up ahead. Miles Reynolds the lay-in.
And that was almost an N1. Miles Reynolds is explosive going to the basket, and I think he had a point right there. And he was in the air too, which is something they're trying to do this year. But if you know him, if you've officiated him this year, you know that he takes contact really well. But hey, he finished it. Play on.
Long three.
Boom.
Lindy Waters in and out. Rebound. McNeese had it. Gets it back. Saved it. Then for a moment Reynolds had it, lost it. But here come the Sooners.
It was a big stretch for the Cowboys. They got to maintain at least a 7-8 point lead going into the half, or they've squandered all of that emotion of the first 12 minutes or so of this game. Remember, Oklahoma has more depth.
15-footer short from Doolittle. McNeese there, though, to clean it up.
Good footwork by McNeese. He got stuck underneath the basket. Good pivoting.
Well, the Sooners hit only 2 of their first 9 3-point shots, Fran. Since that, they've gone back to more mid-range and driving to the rim, and they've gone on a 9-0 run since.
And they've chipped away, which is what you have to do when you get behind early.
Zagua 4 to shoot from the short corner. It rolls off. Now the Cowboys have gone cold after a hot shooting start. They were up by as many as 19 at one point. That's been cut to 5. McNeese spins with the left hand off the glass.
Well done. They went to him purposely. Good set play by Juan Kruger. Little flex cut inside. It opened up the post for McNeese. Good finish with the left hand. The comeback is about complete for Oklahoma as they go into the half.
1 minute to play in this first half, and a 19-point lead for the Cowboys is down to a 1-possession game. Zagua blocked by McNeese. 7 on the shot clock as the Cowboys will inbounds. McNeese has been bothered by that sprained ankle. He certainly seems like he's feeling like himself again.
Got his bounce back. And the 2 graduate transfers have been key. Calixte and Miles Reynolds.
Shot clock at 4. Jones got it. And all of a sudden, Oklahoma State really needed to hit a big shot, and they get a 3.
Desperately. And that McNeese should have known to come out with the clock low and make him a driver, but he gave him a NBA rhythm 3.
About a 6-second difference, shot clock and game clock.
Little zone here.
Three to shoot. Reynolds puts it up. 5 seconds left. Doolittle gets it back. The jumper off the left side. 1 second, and that's going to do it. Oklahoma was down by as many as 19. Got it down to 3, and they trail it by 6. Bedlam matchup. OU, OSU, half number 2. Waters with 3 threes in the first half.
He's going to shoot this.
He didn't score over the last 11-15 of the first half. Comes out of the shoot and knocks it down to start the second half.
You see him freeze dribble out there? When a shooter bounces it more than 3 or 4 times, he's just sizing up the defender for the right moment to get the release off. That's a tell.
Odoms stopped, gets it back from Bieniemy and launches the 3. Good. Boy, Rashard Odoms, the last week or so has really been a big spark for Oklahoma.
You know, it's amazing. He does not take a lot of threes, but he was 3 for 6 on the year. And that neutralized that first set play by Mike Boynton getting Waters that open look.
So that was just his 7th 3-point attempt of the year and his 4th made one. Gets him back within 6. Likely driving. It fell off the left rim. Punched out by Odoms. Goes out of bounds. It's going to be Oklahoma State ball.
Yeah, watch this. I want you to watch Lindy Waters now. He's going to freeze dribble. Watch him now. He's got the mismatch. He's going to bounce, bounce, bounce. Looking for the rhythm. And all he needs is a little bit of space. Well done.
Waters again defended by James. Hands off to Dzagwa.
Oh, great move.
McGriff.
Yep.
Odoms stripped him but committed the foul.
When you run your offense out by the foul line, you have 5 guys out there. McGriff, he just took off for the basket knowing there was no rim protection right there. It's one of those rare times when you anticipate a play like that, Rashad Odoms has got to force the ball to the elbow and the help and not to the baseline where he's more comfortable in that Oklahoma defense forcing it.
Mike Boynton's Cowboys, just 8 scholarship players, 9 total players on their roster. A week ago today, let go Maurice Kalou, Michael Weathers, and Travius Jones, all dismissed from the team for violation, behavior-oriented off the court. That goes out of bounds. Oklahoma State ball thanks to the effort by McGriff.
Well, Mike Boynton changed his defense up once again, came out in a 1-3-1. And when you don't have a great fastball, or you don't want to exert all that energy in the man-to-man defense, changing your defenses is a way to just keep Oklahoma out of their rhythm.
Lindy Waters started this game, Fran, like a guy who's from Norman, Oklahoma. In this game, in a little bit extra to start things.
Absolutely. Again, you got to guard him out there. You got to turn him into a dribbler.
4 to shoot. Dzagwa gets in the lane and trying to bullet a pass to Ane, and it goes past him and out of bounds.
That's not a pass that Ane's going to catch. Dzagwa trying to do the right thing, but that ball went about 70 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that was a fastball.
That was a fastball from in close.
There's that 1-3-1 again. You can get a lob out of this if you can get one of those guys on the baseline.
You can't leave Bieniemy open. We're learning quickly. He's a guy that if he spots up and you give him some room on the three-point line, he'll knock it down.
Early in the year, he wasn't shooting a lot of threes, but this guy's up over 40% now and playing with a lot of confidence. There's the switch. Now there's the mismatch.
Likely got past Manic. It rolls out. Tipped around to Odoms. OU ball.
Yeah, that switching defense has been really good for Oklahoma all season long.
Odoms fires to the corner. Manic spots up. 3, got it. It's a 2-point game in Stillwater.
Rashad Odoms has done a great job tonight passing the basketball. He's a veteran. He knows what this game is about. 4 years worth.
This is as close as OU has been since the early moments of the game. Got a hold on Christian James. First foul on James. It's been a quiet offensive night for Christian James. He had scored well the last couple of games to break a kind of a shooting slump, but not a good shooting game for him so far tonight.
Yeah, no points. That's really quiet. 20 points each of the last 2.
Ane setting a screen, now rolls. They trap him on the sideline. And you see that motion there by referee Jerry Powell. He's saying
that's called the cylinder rule.
He broke the cylinder, the freedom of movement rules now, and that foul against Oklahoma is the result.
You have to give the offensive player room to maneuver and pivot. And you can't take away his space. You can't take away his ability to turn. And Oklahoma fortunate there, because if that wasn't called, that ball went off Waters.
Quick pass comes into Ane, lays it in.
He's a long drink of water. He's had some really good moments this season. And if he just continues to work, there's some good young big guys in the league. Been impressed with Kevin Samuel at TCU. Ane as well.
Manic breaks through. It looked like he was going to pass out, and then he decided to spin towards the bucket.
Well, when you double team a low post player like that, you got to create such a perpendicular. Your bodies have got to be perpendicular, so you can't allow the offensive player to split.
Deep three. Desagua answering for the Pokes. Back to a 5-point lead for Oklahoma State. OU, though, has not missed a shot from the field. 4 for 4 to start the second half.
Now back to a little 1-1-3 zone. Mixing and matching. Falls into a 2-3. Doolittle.
He got bumped from the front and behind and is fouled. A timeout early second half.
Guy averaged 50 points a game in one season.
Doolittle from the line for the Sooners. Oklahoma hasn't missed a shot here in the second half. They hit 3 threes, 5 overall field goals.
Speaking of guys that had a great night from the line, how about Grant Williams?
Perfect.
In that win over Vanderbilt, 23 for 23 from the foul line. Is that an NCAA record? It is not. It's actually
short.
No, it's held by a guy that played here, and it's not Phil Forte. Arlen Clark back in 1959, Oklahoma State Cowboy. And he made 24 in a row in a game, and that's the all-time record.
Offensive foul on Waters, and I believe that's his third. That is indeed, and it comes just over 5 minutes into the half.
A good solid defense. Watch the left arm now. Good position. Textbook charge right there by Miles Reynolds, who, since he's joined this team as a graduate transfer, has been a vocal leader and a dirty work guy. You know, what's interesting about Calixte and Reynolds, both of those guys have been really good college players in their day.
Reynolds lost the handle, and Ney saves it.
But it's been an adjustment for them a little bit, playing in the Big 12.
3, Desagua.
Boom! Shoots the arrow in the air. And every time Oklahoma gets close, Cowboys have responded. And that's the poise we talked about coming out of this game in the second half. Gave away the big lead. Watch the drive, and Ney has been absolutely terrific at the rim. And then this is just too much room. Transition 3. Had a great talk with Thomas Desagua today. Played at Tampa Catholic with Kevin Knox, who's now having a great rookie year. Lob.
Brady Manick.
We talked about that 1-3-1 zone. If you can throw behind it on the backside, you can get that lob. But Thomas Desagua, a basketball junkie. Dad was his high school coach. Kevin Knox, a teammate.
Likely just off the mark. Desagua, by the way, was 4 for 8 in three-point shooting in the first matchup this year with OU. He's 4 for 5 three-point shooting tonight. Reynolds on the drive, too strong. And the Desagua rebound. He's going to run out with it. Gets it back for McGriff. Jones ran into Jimoni McNeese, but there's a Ney to kiss that in. Well, you got within 2, but every time it looks like they may get over the hump. Oklahoma State's been able to come up with a big shot or 2. That's Manick, who is getting help to his feet. Official to it, and he's the one that stopped play. There's the contact.
Yeah, they don't have much because they're already putting that ball back in play. Yeah, that's nothing. Just an unfortunate accident, if you will.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I think McGriff got him. He wasn't even looking at Manick. He just stuck his right arm out.
So we resume a 14 on the shot clock for the Sooners.
Got to go quick. They like Doolittle at the top. They like him to go one-on-one.
James passes out of a triple team, but likely deflected it to Jones, who comes the other way and lays it in.
If you're Bieniemy, you have to get back to the basket and stop the ball and not go for the block. Well done by Curtis Jones. This is exactly how the Cowboys needed to start this half.
McNeese trying to back down DeMuth, but there's McGriff to help out. They double. Skip pass. Calixte. The enemy almost dragged that pivot foot. The crowd wanted to walk. Calixte bounces it down low. McNeese fouled.
That's a good foul. Got an 8-point lead and you put a poor foul shooter on the line. I like that. And Curtis Jones, he's been around the block. He played for Tom Crean at Indiana. And watch. Now, Bieniemy's got to run back to the lane, and he's just waiting to block it. He's not going to block that shot. Curtis Jones has got too much flavor in his game. He's made that play a million times.
I like that word. Well, McNeese had hit both his free throws tonight, but is short with that one. He came in just as a 35% foul shooter.
If you're playing the odds, it means he's going to miss this one. And they've missed Jimoni McNeese as an anchor to that defense.
Got it to fall.
Yep, 3 for 4 tonight.
Well, it's a 7-point lead for Oklahoma State. They led by as many as 19 in the first half, and they've never trailed in this game, and likely loses it on the baseline to Calixte.
I think Calixte can look for his 3 a little bit. He shot that ball at a high rate. They've got a mismatch inside, but they shouldn't force it.
That's DeZagua on McNeese. Doolittle kind of looking to get it to McNeese, but that's well defended. But James cut towards the bucket, and then there's going to be goaltending. Count the basket and the foul. Maybe he was.
That big head, he could play defense in the post.
James completes the 3-point play.
Oh, we know Pistol Pete could shoot it, right? That's one thing.
Oh, touche.
Yep.
James was held scoreless in the first half, so he picks up his first 3 points of the night.
It looks like Calixte's going to hound Lindy Waters right now.
Jones off the mark with his 3.
I think Aaron Calixte's played really well this year, the main transfer. That's going to count,
That's going to be another goaltending.
No, you can't do that, young guy.
So count the bucket for McNeese. Calixte looked like he lost his balance down low.
I think he did. And he gets rid of it before he travels. And then the young guy, we know he can block shots, but got to be a little more judicious than this. Might get away with that in AAU ball, but
how many times do you see back-to-back goaltendings on back-to-back possessions? Not very often.
Not often.
Well, we saw it there. The free throw miss keeps it a two-point game. This is as close as Oklahoma has gotten since the early stages, and also at one point early in the second half.
No matter what happens, you got to make Lindy Waters drive.
Trap him in the corner.
Yep.
And his pass is picked off by Christian Doolittle.
You got the freshman and the 2 graduate transfers out there.
Bieniemy driving high off the glass.
How good is that?
What a play by the freshman.
How good is that, and how about the poise? We've watched them come through here at Oklahoma.
An unintentional elbow from DeZagua to the chin of Bieniemy. Bieniemy playing well tonight, hasn't missed a shot. How about Jared Butler down at Baylor, what he's done since Kristen Clark's injury?
Jared Butler's helped turn that Bears season around, the freshman from Louisiana. He's been absolutely outstanding. Little ISO right there. Good defense.
Oklahoma on an 8-0 run has tied the game, and a miss by Lindy Waters. The Sooners have never led. We're midway through the second half, and here's OU with a chance to take their first lead of the night. Doolittle looking for McNeese, but Nene had him well defended.
And McGriff took away that right hand of Doolittle. He loves to drive right.
14-footer McNeese going after his own rebound, fouls Nene.
Didn't think there was a lot of contact there. He definitely didn't go over his back, but good job by the freshman of procuring that rebound. I think Lon Kruger was wondering a little bit too, but a well officiated game tonight. Officiating this season, at least in my opinion, has been outstanding.
Very good.
I haven't mentioned the officials for like 5 or 6 games.
And that's the way they like it.
They like it. They like to be incognito.
McGriff, hands off.
Make him a driver.
They do that. Waters leans in
There
and
you go.
one.
All right. Now you got to adjust. I like it. Terrific job by Lindy Waters. They take away the 3. So he's a good player. He's done this before. Good concentration. There's the bump. And what a night he's having. Really good effort tonight by Mike Boynton's juniors. They've lost 3 guys from that roster due to suspensions permanently.
Right back. Make it a 1-point game.
Remember, Jamani McNeese is a 5-year guy, and they really missed his offense and defense during that stretch where he had to rest that ankle. Oh boy.
Waters off the mark with that 3. He does have 20 points tonight, which is a career high. His previous high was 19 against Texas earlier this month.
Watch McGriff. He's probably going to sit on the right hand of Doolittle.
McNeese barreling his way in, and the Oklahoma Sooners have taken their first lead of the night.
And Lon Kruger wanted a foul, and I don't blame him, because you go inside like that, and you need to be rewarded when there's contact.
Waters trying to spin away from Calixte. His pass is picked off. Doolittle. James Doolittle to the corner for Calixte. Has to save the wild pass. And then Bieniemy trying to save it. It goes to DeZagua the other way. The reverse lay-in for Jones.
What a play by Curtis Jones. For a good start.
Well, Oklahoma had just taken the lead, and then that crazy sequence has given Oklahoma State back the lead on the Jones delivery, and now a miss from the right side by the Sooners. And they let the traffic go by.
He almost got that shot off.
McNeese comes out on Waters.
He's got to come out more.
4 to shoot. Jones a long 3. Did not hit iron. The shot clock expires as it goes out of bounds. Sooner ball. Manick, that is going to check in for McNeese. Had a pretty good night for Brady Manick. 15 points.
Knocking down some 3s. He's grown up this year. He's gotten tougher. He's an excellent rebounder. Good hands.
The grip knocked it free.
He sure did.
Calixte almost went flying there.
He didn't sell it enough.
No.
Oklahoma switching, and they almost switched themselves into trouble. There was a little confusion.
Ane tried to bounce it to DeZagua, who cut in the other direction, so Waters had to go to the court, and it's tied up. Possession arrow coming into play, gives it to Oklahoma.
That's one of those plays where Waters, it's hard for him, for the official to hear him or for him to verbally signal it. And that's where one of his teammates has got to just look at the first official they see and say, timeout, and they get that possession. And they've got 2 left. And that's one of those plays with 6 minutes to go that would be worth a timeout to get that possession back, in my opinion.
Bieniemy.
That's great.
Wow.
That is a hard move.
And that's a freshman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he almost created another turnover right there.
I'm not going to say anything about his NBA potential, because then it'll be on Twitter. But he's going to be a really good college player. He's a good player, and he's a no-mistake guy, which is why they really love him. No mistakes in terms of being in the right place on both ends of the floor.
There's a drive. Jones.
Sweet.
Nice adjustment by Curtis Jones.
Really well done. Good body control. Well, we're going to have a game that looks like it's going down to the wire. Why not?
They've been playing Bedlam basketball since 1908. This is the 238th installment of it. Doolittle. James a three. Odoms almost went over the top of Benet, and it's an Oklahoma State rebound. I thought Doolittle should have shot that ball in the lane.
Yep. And I thought, who was it that went over the back? Good job of Odoms.
Odoms and Rashard Odoms.
Yeah, he pulled back. Smart play. Wasn't going to get it.
Waters driving. Picked up. Doolittle falling down. Fouled by Waters. That's going to be number 4 on Lindy Waters.
It's the right call, because that's the call that's been made all season. Was it inadvertent? It was, but when you put an offensive player in a bad way, you have to call this. It's a great drive by Waters, and watch him come out of nowhere and try to come up with this. He tries to steal it, pokes it free, but right there he takes the offensive player down, and
it's a foul.
That's just not anything other than a foul. Fans don't like it here, but why not? It's Bedlam.
But as you alluded to, being that it was inadvertent, it's still a foul.
It's still a foul, exactly.
So it puts Waters on the bench with 4.5 minutes to go. Bieniemy.
Odoms likes to get into the lane with the left. That's a foul.
Spinning, up and under, got it. What a nice move by Rashard Odoms.
Yeah, and you know what? As long as it's both ways, these officials have done a good job, but there's a lot of body contact there.
Dzagwa can't respond with a 3. Bieniemy the rebound. Oklahoma with the ball in a 1-point lead.
For me, I want freedom of movement both ends. But hey, it's a hard game.
Odoms cutting towards the bucket, runs into an A. We come to a timeout on that last play.
Exactly. This is what we mean when we say Lon Kruger trusts this guy. He tries to go to the basket. He doesn't. Watch him get cut off right here. He's in no man's land, okay? He's looking at Odoms. He realizes that he's got time. He waves Odom to go back door, and Odoms, guess what? He's going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. That's what I mean when I say that he's a no-mistake guy. It's not the points, it's the poise.
It is a career-high 12 points, starting his 2nd consecutive game, and good luck getting him out of the lineup. I think that's going to be a permanent thing.
It looks that way.
Odoms the second. He hits 1 of 2. Sooners go up by 2, under 4 minutes to go.
Now this is a good opportunity to ISO Cam McGriff somewhere with some space to drive.
Waters back on the floor playing with 4 fouls. Seven to shoot. Put up off the glass. Missed by McGriff. Well, he got to touch McGriff, but it was pretty well defended.
Yep. Lon Kruger right now orchestrating.
Odoms backing down to Dzagwa.
He's good in there.
Going after his own rebound, fighting for it with McGriff loose. Bieniemy a 3.
Wow.
Good!
Wow. Wow. Another star is born in Norman. Wow. Poise.
He hasn't missed a shot tonight.
We've seen dribs and drabs of this kind of play all year. And then Lon Kruger has stuck him in the starting lineup.
Sooners up 5, their largest lead. They have not had many leads tonight. Jones trying to respond. A tough shot from 17. Doesn't draw iron. He forced that. It goes out of bounds.
Mark, you remember when Oklahoma State was down 19? I said they could come back. But watch this. Missed shot. Great hustle both ways. And then watch the smooth jumper. Rhythm shot. Boom.
Now, Oklahoma was down 19 at one point in the first half.
Yeah, the problem was it was too early in the game for them to be able to sustain.
A lot of dribbling. Doolittle hands off. Manic three. Short. Rebounded off the floor.
Excellent.
Ane.
Excellent defense by Ane. That's the bread and butter for Doolittle, the ISO. He's won 2 games from that spot this year.
Big possession for the Pokes. McGriff three. In and out. James skying for the rebound for the Sooners.
Now, if you're Oklahoma, use some clock.
Timeout. Oklahoma with 1:53 to go. They're up by 5. Well, what a night for true freshman Jamal Bieniemy.
Out of Houston, Texas. Well known down there. You may know his uncle, Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. Future head coach, but tonight it's about another Bieniemy, the freshman. And here's a big one right here. Poise, new shot clock, said, hey, I can make this. He almost stole that game down in Austin on Saturday night. And that's what you love about him. Now look, he's 6'4", he can play both guard spots. The most impressive thing about this kid is not his talent right now. It's the poise with which he plays this game. On a team that's the most experienced team in Power Conference basketball, Oklahoma, he's the only freshman. And it's a good spot for him to be in because he's got older brothers who taught him how to play the game halfway through his career as a freshman.
Going to the bucket. James. Well designed out of the timeout for the Sooners. They're on an 8-0 run.
Watch the 3 ball. Be good strategy if they can get a couple threes up.
Pokes need a bucket. Waters a hair long. On the baseline, it's out of bounds. It will remain with the Pokes.
Cowboys have played their hearts out tonight. Obviously shorthanded.
Only 8 scholarship players, only 9 total players on the roster for OSU.
Got a terrific recruiting class coming in. I met the twins from Tulsa Memorial tonight. These juniors will be back.
You see that scoreless drought for the Pokes that continues.
Got to think about fouling right now if you're Oklahoma State.
It's a 3-possession game with a minute to go. Four to shoot. Bieniemy finds James in the corner. A foul. Odom's got a piece of Curtis Jones.
And that's here. It's almost like it was starting to be deja vu. So this would be a big win in a place they lost last year.
Saved in the backcourt by McGriff. Oklahoma State badly needing a bucket. Jones sealed off his pass, stolen by Bieniemy. And he has fouled to stop it with 26 seconds left.
Helped him grow up.
Bieniemy in 34 minutes tonight has 0 turnovers.
Well, that means that's 94 minutes. Because he came into the night without a turnover in 60.
DeZagua, a long drought. Oklahoma State hasn't scored well over 5 minutes. And that's going to do it. They led by as many as 19 at one point, did Oklahoma State. But OU ends the game on a 10-0 run, and they win it by 9, 70-61 over Oklahoma State. Well, Oklahoma trailed it by as many as 19, but they win this game by 9. And Jamal Bieniemy, a career-high 17 points. Fran, he didn't miss a shot tonight. 6 of 6 from the field. 3 of those were threes. And he was 2 of 2 from the foul line.
Well, the stats are great, but it's what we talked about all night long with this young guy, the poise. Winning plays, no mistakes. And I'm going to let him tell us how it happened, not listen to me.
You played 34 minutes, Jamal. No turnovers. So out of all those numbers, maybe that's the one that you're most proud of.
Oh, of course. I pride myself in not turning the ball over and making winning plays and just helping my team every night.
So when I saw you practice in October, your older teammate said, "That's our little brother. We're going to train him right." What have those veterans meant to your development?
Oh, everything. I learn from those guys every day. I've gotten so much better just being around them and just watching how they work and just getting better every day.
How about just the last couple of games? Because let's take you back to Austin on Saturday night. You were not shy about taking the big shots down the stretch. What's the evolution been like just in the last week or so?
Just my teammates and my coaches trusting in me and believing in me, and just being trusted. It feels good to get the win tonight, and I wish we could have did it in Austin, but we'll play them again, and it's going to be fun.
What's it like going through the Big 12 for the first time? Tell us about it.
Every night is a fight. You got practice every day, so you got to be prepared on your toes every day and just be ready to fight and win.
So in this one, you guys are down 19 points. Granted, it's early, but what's the team consensus? What's Coach Kruger saying at that point?
Oh, we just kept believing. That was our motto, just believe, play hard, fight. If we knew if we fight and played, that we could come back and win the game.
What do you expect for yourself down the stretch? Now, how are you evolving as a player?
Just continue to make winning plays for my team, whether it's scoring, passing, getting rebounds, playing defense, whatever it is, just continue to do it.
Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Great night. Thank you. Jamal Bieniemy, career high night tonight with 17 points. Did not miss a shot from the field, including 3 threes, as Oklahoma wins it by 9.